Hey guys, it's me Ram here, and in today's video I'm going to be recapping my cubing goals for 2020 as well as telling you guys about my cubing goals for 2021. Just a quick disclaimer before we begin this video, everything I had mentioned about official averages, well, it doesn't really count because I didn't have too many official rounds, but let's see how I did compared to my goals for 2020. Starting with 2x2, my main speed cube is the Walk to M with MGC springs. My goals for 2020 are to average sub 2 consistently by the end of this year and to have a sub 2 official average. I'd also like to have a sub 1 official single because they are quite cool. Alright, so starting out with 2x2, my goal for 2020 was to globally average sub 2 seconds, which I am comfortably, which is great to hear. As for 2021, I mainly just want to finish LEG1 and TCLL and globally average around 1.6 to 1.7 seconds and have an official average somewhere around there. My main 2x2s for now are either the newly released X-Man Flare 2x2 or my classic PyCube Pro QNM. I'm not sure which one I will be using, but make sure to check out for an update video about the same. So here's 3x3 and this is my main speed cube, the Walk 3 Elite M. My goals for 2020 are to average 11.5 seconds consistently on 3x3, maybe even sub 11, and have an official average somewhere around there. I'd also like a few more sub 10 singles, possibly even sub 9, and overall I do have quite high hopes for 3x3 this year. For 3x3, I globally wanted to average around sub 11.5 or maybe even sub 11. I think I'm comfortably around 11.5 to 11.4 seconds, however I haven't been able to break the sub 11 barrier. Therefore, for 2021, I will be aiming to break the sub 11 barrier, and the cube I am using for now is the Waylong WRM 2019. So here's 4x4 and my main is the Moyu Aosu GTS2M. My only goal for 4x4 this year is to average sub 50 officially and unofficially. For 4x4, my biggest goal was to average sub 50 consistently. Unfortunately, I'm right around the 50 to 51 second mark, therefore I haven't been able to quite reach that barrier yet. My goal for 2021 will be to break sub 48 or sub 47. My main speed cube for now is the Angstrom MGC 4x4, however it is insanely slow and I'm thinking of cleaning it out or getting a brand new MGC 4x4. Moving on to 5x5, this is my main, the Yushin Little Magic 5x5M. My goal for 2020 is to become semi-decent at this event and start competing officially. So for 5x5, my goal for 2020 was to become decent at 5x5, however I just barely average like low 2 minutes. So for 2021, I will be aiming to average sub 1 minute and 50 seconds. The cube I will be using is an MGC 5x5 and it is incredibly enjoyable to turn. So here's the 6x6, this is the Supernova MGC 6x6. I did not have a goal for 2020 because I did not own a good one. However, now that I own a really nice 6x6, my goal is to average sub 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I'd also like to mention that I do not own a 7x7, however, I'd like to start the event in 2021. Moving on to the worst event ever, 3x3 one-handed, my goal for 2020 is to stop having such a big grudge against it and average sub 25 officially and unofficially. I'd also like a sub 20 official OH single, but I'm not even sure if that's possible at this rate. Also, I forgot to mention that this is also a Walk 3 Elite M. So for 3x3 one-handed, my goal was to stop hating on it and average sub 25. However, I barely practice this event, therefore I'm stuck exactly where I used to average at around 27 or 28 seconds. For this coming year, I'm setting the same goal for myself, averaging sub 25 consistently, and the cube I'm using is also a WRM 2019. Moving on to Pyramix, my main is the X-Man Bell Pyramix. My goal for Pyramix is to average around sub 7.5 consistently by the end of this year, and as I have insane luck at competitions, I'd like to have a sub 7 official average. So for Pyramix, my goal was to average sub 7.5 consistently and I have easily done that. I average around sub 7. So for 2021, I'm aiming to learn L4E and average around sub 6 or sub 5 seconds. And my main for Pyramix is an X-Man Bell V1, just like last year. Rest in peace, Gan and Mr. M. Moving on to Skewb, my main is the Moyu Aoyan Skewb. My goal for 2020 is to average sub 8 consistently on this event and perhaps have a sub 5 official single. So for Skewb, my goal was to average sub 8 consistently and I'm also averaging sub 7, so that's great to see. For 2021, I'm using a cosmic Aoya on Skewb and I'd like to average around sub 6 consistently. Moving on to Megamix, my main is the YJ MGC Megamix. My only goal for 2020 is to consistently average sub 2 minutes and also have a sub 2 official average. So for Megamix, I wanted to average sub 2 globally by the end of 2020 and I have done that fairly easily. My main for now is the YJ Yuhu V2M Megamix and my goal is to average around sub 140 consistently. Here's SquareOne and my main for this event is a Yushin Little Magic SquareOne M. My goal for 2020 is to relearn all the SquareOne algorithms that I knew previously and to have an official average in this event. So for SquareOne, my goal was to relearn all the SquareOne algorithms, which I did successfully. My main for 2021 is the Cosmic Volt V2M and my goal is to average sub 30 consistently. I'd like to mention that I also started clock as an event recently and it's a lot of fun. I use a Chi clock and average around 12 seconds. So for 2021, I'd like to global around sub 9 seconds by the end of this year. And finally, for 3x3 blindfolded, I'd like to learn how to solve a 3x3 blindfolded and perhaps have one official success. Finally, for 3 blind, I wanted to learn but I was never able to do so. Therefore, I'll be keeping the same goal for 2021. Learn it and maybe have an official success. Finally, my goal for FMC was to be sub 40 consistently and quit using CFOP. Unfortunately, all I did this year was 7 practice FMC solves, therefore I was not able to meet any of my goals. So for 2021, I'll be having the exact same goals which are on the top of the screen now. So that's about it on my recap of my cubing goals for 2020 and my cubing goals for 2021. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed and goodbye.